Altoona as the storm is rolling talking about through. A live look from downtown. Hill, here's Bondurant right now, there's where we have the potential there on the right side of your screen. Spin up. We're definitely seeing a lot of rotation right now. Clouds there. That is certainly some good news, but really heavy rainfall right now in terms of any rotation or anything that would look like a tornado at this point. So that's some great news as we continue to monitor this tornado warning. So we're going to stick with you here. This tornado warning is in place here for about another 7 minutes. Not seeing any significant rotation recently with the storm, so that's some great news. However, Grinnell, Newton, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning. Wind gusts perhaps up to 60 miles an hour about to move into your neighborhood. So I want to go ahead and give you a little closer look at that. So trying to get up toward Grinnell right now. You can see the storms are just off to your west, up toward Kellogg, just about to move into your neighborhood with some heavy rain, some downpours, and again, some wind gusts perhaps up to 60 miles an hour. Newton, the storm is moving into your area right now, crossing I-80 just to the west of Newton. We'll continue to track this back to the west into the metro. Colfax getting some heavy rainfall. Mitchellville, you're on the edge of this tornado warning. Looks like we're getting a new radar scan coming in right now. So that'll give us the latest position for this thunderstorm. So again, this tornado warning, eastern Polk County. If you live west of Highway 69, Southeast 14th, downtown, you are in the clear. So again, Johnston, Urbandale, Clive, Grimes, West Des Moines. You may be hearing sirens, but the tornado warning is not for your part of Polk County. We are talking about Altoona, Pleasant Hill, Bondurant right now, where we have the potential for something to possibly spin up. We're just not seeing a lot of rotation right now. That is certainly some good news, but some really heavy rainfall right now at the intersection there of, let's see, that's Highway 65 and I-80, some very heavy rainfall. You see those dark reds and the pinks and purples showing up there, northwest side of Altoona. That's going to be some torrential rainfall. So we're talking about areas along Franklin Street, just to the west of Northeast 72nd. First Avenue. This is where we have some torrential rainfall right now. That's going to be in the Adventureland area, so we can kind of take another look at the camera there and look at that torrential rainfall. Spin the camera around. It's all good. You can see the rain coming down just in sheets. The visibility has really dropped off. Thankfully, it does not look like the wind is too terribly strong right now. Earlier, the camera was really shaking around as those wind gusts started to kick in. Now the camera seems a little stabler, so that's some great news. But yeah, you can barely see Adventureland right there. So the rain is really coming down heavy at the moment. And a flag there on the street light moving around just a little bit. So there is at least some wind with this storm as it's coming into Altoona, but it looks like the winds have actually backed off from what we were seeing a little bit earlier. So we'll take a look at our camera downtown now, and you can see the rain there off to the east, those low clouds. So we are looking east down 235. Again, State House behind me. There's the Des Moines River. So this is off toward Altoona there in the distance. Ankeny is going to be on the left side up to the north, and we're just not seeing any significant lowerings or any signs of rotation right now. Just that wall of heavy rain there on the east side of the metro. So we're going to stick with you here for another couple of minutes. That tornado warning is still in effect for about another 4 minutes until 6:45. So we want to hang with you as this tornado warning is in place. You're hearing the sirens, but I'm going to go ahead and say that the tornado warning will be allowed to expire here at 6:45. So when this warning expires, we'll go ahead and get you back to your regular programming, but we'll stick with you here for a few more minutes as this storm is really rocking the east side of the metro right now. We saw the really heavy rain coming down there in Altoona. That's going to be moving into Pleasant Hill shortly. Just north of 163 right now, right along Northeast 56th Street. Some very, very heavy rainfall. Again, maybe some gusty winds as well. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in place for wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. We haven't seen a lot of that, but you saw those bright greens on the radar when we were looking at the wind speeds a little while ago. Those are those potential for some high winds. Going to come into Des Moines right now. We're not worried about any tornado threat right now here in Des Moines, but you can see there is some very, very heavy rain coming right into downtown right now. So you can see Martin Luther King Drive right there, and this is 235. So right in downtown. We're getting some torrential rainfall that goes back into the Beaverdale area, Merle Hay, Urbandale, Windsor Heights, about to get a little bit of a downpour.
Nerve pain? Do not take gabapentin. Do you know that neuropathy symptoms are completely reversible? Let me explain why and show you the fastest, easiest way to keep them under control without meds or expensive treatment. Researchers at Karolinska Institute found that neuropathy symptoms are caused by spiky molecules that attach themselves to nerves. These molecules erode the natural protection of nerve endings and create a vicious cycle. That's why it's so hard to get rid of it with common treatments, no matter what you try. And worse, if you don't eliminate these molecules, the problem keeps growing on the inside. Over time, you'll feel more than just numbness, tingling, or burning feet. It can lead to mobility loss and may even bring you closer to limb amputation. But it doesn't stop there. These molecules can get into your bloodstream, causing swelling, pain, and weakness. If you feel tired all the time, sleep poorly, or experience frequent body aches and pains, it could be a sign that the spike molecule is in your blood. That's why you have to eliminate it from the inside out. And the solution has been right in front of us for hundreds of years. A simple yellow vitamin that boosts production of an analgesic nutrient that can combat these spiky molecules at the root. And the best part? Over 38,000 people are already using this yellow vitamin, and the results have been incredible, even in the worst cases. If you've tried everything and nothing worked, click the button below and watch the short video that explains it all. You'll see how this yellow vitamin can help you keep neuropathy under control at home. It works because it targets the real root cause and helps with the most common symptoms like numbness in the legs and arms, tingling in the hands and feet, burning feet, weakness, reduced sensitivity, and mobility loss. My husband suffered from neuropathy for years, but after discovering this yellow vitamin, he threw away all the gabapentin bottles. Now he tends to our garden, joins me on afternoon walks, and is finally able to sleep through the night again. Now, one last warning. For reasons you'll understand once you watch, the following video will be available for free only until the end of the day. So stop whatever you're doing and watch it to see how this ritual can help you get rid of neuropathy suffering for good without spending a single dollar on meds or expensive treatments.
The head of Anthropic says, just because it's going to be so revolutionary and so disruptive, you're going to see a massacre of white-collar jobs, the people who do, all the routine things in accounting, in law, in even consulting. What do you think?
I would say if the world runs out of ideas, then productivity gains translates to job loss. But over the course of the last 300 years, 100 years, 60 years even, in the era of computers, not only did productivity go up, employment also went up. Now, the reason for that is because if we have an abundance of ideas, if we were more productive, we could realize that better. Now, of course, in a world of zero-sum games, if you have no more ideas and all you want to do is this, then productivity drives down. It results in job loss.
So that is Jensen Huang being interviewed by Fareed Zakaria, I think, at the Aspen Institute, or he's talking on CNN, I should say. And he's talking about how, with the AI's coming, everyone's excited about it, but what's it going to mean for job loss? Well, a lot of it comes to a lot of people are going to be coming for the coders, according to Mike Rowe. If they're not coming from the welders, the plumbers, the steam fitters. And it went on to say, and Mike Rowe said over at Aspen, that Larry Fink of BlackRock or Blackstone or something black says we need 500,000 electricians in the next couple of years, and that's not hyperbole. That is music to the ears, and I told you so has to be going through Mike Rowe's head. He is Mike Rowe from the Mike Rowe Works Foundation and the host of People You Should Know. Mike, what was it like at the Aspen Institute? They got you to wear a tie.
Did you really just conflate BlackRock and Blackstone and then shrug it off as if a couple of trillion-dollar companies are interchangeable?
Yeah, I think in retrospect.
I appreciate that. Good for you.
Right.
You also conflated the Aspen Institute with the Energy AI Summit, which just took place in Pittsburgh. And it's an understandable conflation because every time you turn around, a room full of billionaires is convening somewhere in the country to talk about the existential threat that you and I have been discussing now for like 10 years.
Yep.
vis-a-vis our workforce. So, look, I'm not one to take victory laps, but Brian, the headlines have caught up to us in a way that is absolutely undeniable. Larry Fink at the Aspen Institute addressed a big crowd of swells, and he was crystal clear. 500,000 electricians just in the $12 trillion portfolio that he oversees, right? These guys have a whole different look at what's going on with our workforce. Now, yesterday and the day before in Pittsburgh, President Trump showed up along with an enormous crowd of people who raised $92 billion in the room to invest in building data centers, which, as Jensen Huang basically just described, are actually AI factories. This is an enormous play by Pennsylvania and Senator McCormick and Fetterman, both of whom came together in a nonpartisan way to get behind this push. And I got invited simply to remind the crowd that creating jobs is very different than creating enthusiasm for those jobs. And I essentially begged them to carve off a little chunk of that money that was raised and use it to promote the opportunities.
Most people are too lazy to do this, but it saves homeowners a fortune. I worked in construction for 20 years now, and it shocks me how many people pay a fortune to upgrade their gutters when there are services like the Gutter Remodel Relief Service. As long as you own your home, you can apply for and get approved for an affordable gutter transformation within 2 minutes. You can click the button below and find out almost instantly if you're eligible. I've done this for hundreds of my clients over the years, but still, so many people will pay $2,500 for new gutter systems without knowing it. The best part is that there is zero cost to apply for the service. The only downside is not every zip code is covered, but I know there are still spots available, so I would try immediately. You can find out in minutes if you're approved. Click the link below to learn more. There's literally nothing to lose.
Do you have a car? And do you have a clean driving record? Did you know you could pay as low as $19 a month in car insurance? How? It's super easy. Click below, enter your zip code, tell us some basic information, and you'll have the cheapest car insurance quote in less than 60 seconds.
At hand. So basically, it's the same drum I've been beating for the last 17 years.
So people that are panicking, you said, as you sent to me, they told you to, hey, if I think it was Hillary Clinton that told a bunch of coal miners, learn to code.
Yes.
And you said they're coming for the coders. They're not coming for the welders and the steam fitters. You want to expand on that?
Yeah, that actually got an applause line. We were at the Carnegie Mellon Institute. I mean, this is like a real pinnacle in an institution of higher learning. And these guys got the memo too. We have, for the last 30 years, been elevating our white-collar portion of the workforce at the expense of the blue-collar portion. And we have been sort of intimating that the robots and the technology that is certainly on the horizon, if not already here, is coming for the blue-collar jobs. It's turning out to be something quite opposite. It's the white-collar positions. I'm painting with a broad brush, but paralegal and anything creative, writing in general, coding, these are looking very wobbly right now. The AI is going to come for those. And I agree with what Jensen was saying. There's disruption and there's going to be a result, I think, that's impossible to accurately predict long term. But short term, we are entering the golden age of plumbing, steam fitting, pipe fitting, welding, HVAC. Those jobs are not going to be impacted by AI. And those are the jobs that are being created in Pennsylvania right now. And those are the opportunities that parents and guidance counselors ought to be zeroing in on.
Are they? Have you noticed a change? I know you want the change. You've been calling for the change. You predicted it. But have you noticed a change bringing vocational training back to schools? Have you noticed more people trying to apply for scholarships at Micro Works?
Yeah, and that's truly a micro example, right? And it's anecdotal. I mean, my foundation is modest. We've given away about $13 million in these work ethic scholarships, and this year we have 10 times the applicants that we did a year before. And if you look only at that, Brian, you could conclude, hey, you're killing it. And modesty aside, we are in my little world. In Macro Works, in the United States of America, I'd be ringing the alarm bell if I had one right now, because not a week goes by where I don't hear from somebody like the American Submarine Industrial Base, who needs 140,000 welders and electricians. 140,000. The automotive industry needs 80,000 in collision repair and technicians. Energy, don't even get me started, man. It's like 500,000. The numbers are mind-boggling, and it's awkward to talk about this, especially at an event when I'm sitting there next to the president and we're announcing all of these new jobs that are about to be created. And I'm just sitting there biting my lip going, look, somebody has to point out the fact that we have 500,000 open positions in manufacturing right now, today. What are we going to do if we create 2 million manufacturing jobs? Where are you going to get the workers? So, look, I'm going to testify on your show this weekend on the TV and everything, and I'm probably going to rant and rave a little bit because I think this is the missing piece in all the conversations around job creation, going all the way back to Obama in 2009 when he promised 3 million shovel-ready jobs in the Highway Infrastructure Act to a country that was conspicuously ambivalent about picking up a shovel. It's the same thing now. You can't like we're just clinging to this Depression era artifact that says, oh, you want to solve unemployment? Just create more opportunity. Sorry, there's 7.6 million open positions in the country right now. We don't have an opportunity problem. And while we might have a skills gap, we also have a will gap. And if we don't hit that thing head on, we're going to just keep pushing the boulder up the hill, I'm afraid.
Well, not only that, too, I think that the stat is there are 7 million people eligible to work that aren't working, because that was the Medicaid conversation I was just having with that big bill that President Trump just passed. He's like, well, the problem is a lot of people are just getting insurance and they're refusing to work. So we have to have a work requirement to get people moving.
Yeah, look, you're going to piss a lot of people off with that because it's going to get very political very quickly, and your friends on the right are going to tell you that this is a function of laziness and the human condition, and your friends on the left are going to say the jobs don't pay enough money and you're dealing with greedy, rapacious capitalists. Look, all I can tell you, again, anecdotally, MicroWorks has assisted 2,500 people. The majority are making six figures. Many of them, they get a CDL license, and 3 weeks later, they're making 120 grand driving a truck. 6 months later, they're making 150 grand welding. So I tend to think, with regard to that stat, which, by the way, comes from a book called Men Without Work by Nicholas Eberstadt that your listeners will love. Are they listeners or viewers, Brian? I can't keep it straight. Am I on TV or both?
We got both because we're
right.
Zooming. We're Zooming.
How about that?
Yeah.
Look, it's a terrific book. And what it really does is it digs in to something that's never happened in our country before, at least not in peacetime, where you've got 7 million able-bodied men who are not only not working, but not looking for work. That is amazing. And I'm not in either camp. I'm not here to say they're lazy, and I'm not here to say the opportunity. I'm just saying it's a real number. And isn't it interesting how 7.5 million open jobs kind of sort of correlates a bit with 7 million
yes.
men who are not really interested in dealing with that? So throw in immigration,
right.
Throw in all the other hot button topics, and in the end, it's just math. And finally, here's the most chilling number: 7.6 million